Today we're looking at the top 5 best chess players of all time. This is my opinion, so if you have any comments or any recommendations for who you would either add or remove or change from this list, then let me know in the comments below. First up on the list, we have probably the most surprising person on the list, Alekhine. Most people would recognize him as a top 20 player, probably a top 10, but probably not a top 5. But what's so special about Alekhine is that he passed away playing or as the world champion, which is very rare for a player to die playing or being the best at something. And it goes to show that if he didn't die, what were his limits? What possibilities could he have done if he, didn't die? He could have. He could have stayed the world champion for years. Who knows? So it really goes to show how consistent he, as a player, he could have been if he didn't die. And it's very impressive to die being the best at something. And that's, also a very nice thing, to mention. Also, his playing style is very similar to Kasparov's. And I don't think I need to mention who Garry Kasparov is. He'll be on my list definitely later on. But, that's just all I have to say. His style is so good. That it's kind of similar to Kasparov's, and actually Kasparov, I believe, once said, I don't know if I can find the article, it's a very long time ago, but I believe that Kasparov mentioned Alekhine as his idol, and his playing style is maybe one reason for that. Additionally, he ended up building the pillars for what is known as modern preparation, and this essentially means that he was very good at the theory behind chess and how you should go about playing chess. Next up on my list we have Karpov. Karpov has won 9 chess Oscars, which is impressive on its own. A chess Oscar is an award in chess, so it's very impressive to win an award and then keep that award 9 or 8 other times. Very, very impressive. Also, like Alekhine, he has a very good playing style. Karpov, specifically, is a very solid player that doesn't really take risks. But then, if you make a mistake, or even the smallest of blunders, he can capitalize on that so well. And it's a very, very important aspect of chess to be able to capitalize on your opponent's blunders. Also, he was just the world chess champion for 10 years, which on its own would probably put him somewhere in the top 5 list. Without the rest of his wonderful aspects. Next, we have the inspiration that, basically my idol, the player that got me into chess and probably kept me playing chess for a long time, which is Magnus Carlsen. Very, very, very impressive player. He has the world record for many, many things. One thing being the fact that his peak rating is 2,882, which is the highest rating ever recorded in chess, which is so very good. Additionally, he's the youngest player in chess history to be ranked number 1 in the world at 19 years and 32 days, so there's another record for you. But the thing that I think puts him above all of his records and all of his, games that he's, played and won is the fact that he is probably the most visually talented player. At least from my opinion, he's so impressive when it comes to being a visual player. And there's so many stories of him beating 100 players blindfolded, him beating 50 players. There's videos of all these types of games. But here I have one story where he beat 10 Harvard lawyers blindfolded at the same time. And playing one blindfolded game and winning is very, very impressive. Because for me, at least, you lose track of the pieces after, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 moves. So playing 10 games like that blindfolded and winning each one is so impressive, not losing track of any piece on the board. Next, we have Bobby Fischer coming in at number 2. I think everyone knows Bobby Fischer for something or for one thing or another. He was the world chess champion for a very small time, only between 72 and 75. But that being said, he has a lot of other things for his name. First of all, he's the first person to ever get a rating of more than 2,700, which means that there was one time in the world where he had a rating of 2,700 and no one else did, which is just so impressive, so impressive on its own. Also, when he was just 20, actually, he won the U.S. championship with a score that's never been repeated and never even really been tried ever again, which is an 11 out of 11 wins or an 11-0 record, And this is a record for the U.S. Championship with a perfect score. Very, very impressive. Finally, the person you've all been waiting for, and probably the person that you've all assumed would be my number one list. For me, there's no other person that could make it other than the man himself, Garry Kasparov. Such an impressive chess player. But more than that, what he's doing now after he retired, he's getting more and more into kind of politician. It's very, very impressive that, his career lives on after his chess career, retired. But let's stick to chess for this video. He holds the record for being the youngest world chess champion when he was in 1985. And realistically, he kept that title until 2000, but even until he retired in 2005, he was considered the best, player in chess. So all the way from his whole kind of career of chess, he was considered the best, and it goes to show how consistent he was. Also, he won 11 chess Oscars, and there was another player, a couple of slides ago that won 9, and that was considered very impressive. But 11 is, takes it to a new level. No one's gotten close. 9 and 10 is very, very impressive. But like I said, 11 is a record, and it is insane, very, very insane. And it shows his consistency. He's not only won the award once, but then he went and repeated it 10 times. Not only has he been the world champion in 1985, but then he repeated it until 2000, and even, until 2005, he was the best. So he's a very consistent player. And definitely, I think there's no top 5 list in chess that doesn't have him in the top 5, and probably almost everyone has him in number 1, 2, or maybe 3, but mostly number 1. Very, very solid player. Again, leave in the comments any player you would change, swap, add, remove from this list, and I'll see you guys in the next video.